Loving Father, thank you so much for this evening that you've given to us. And we just pray that you'll be with us as we learn together, that you'll be our guide and our wisdom. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so today we are talking about trusting more, stressing less. You know, I mentioned last week about how there's going to be 10 principles we're going to go over with the cooking classes. These are the 10 principles listed right here. And if you look at each of the first letters, it spells out the acronym, The New Life. Okay, so we're going to learn about all this together. So first of all, I want us to understand two main principles. Let's see here. I'm not sure which color you can see best. The first one is, what is disease? So disease. What is disease? When you guys think of disease, what comes to your mind? Sickness. Infections. Yeah, a lot of sometimes contagious. Yeah. So what is disease? Disease, and if you could put it in simple terms, is the symptom of a cause. So we've learned, you learn in school cause to effect. We have right here, we have symptom of a cause. We have a cause here, so symptom would be the effect. Let's do a quick demonstration. I'm going to need some help from y'all. I have this water bottle right here. What does it say on the water bottle? Okay. What does it say on the water bottle?
It's a person?
Yeah, what kind of person? It's a sick person. Okay, so we got a sick person right here. And let's look at this. As I turn this over, what do you see happening?
Dripping.
It's dripping. So this is an example of disease. This person has disease. This drip right here is a symptom. So what do I need to do to get rid of this symptom?
Close the lid all the way?
Close the lid all the way? I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get more paper towels. Maybe that will solve the issue. I'm going to get more paper towels, and I'm going to put some paper towels there. And I'm just going to keep holding it like this. Have I solved the issue?
No.
It's still dripping?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, maybe I need to hold it against it, okay?
It's not dripping anymore.
It's not dripping anymore. But I'm starting to feel my fingers get wet.
It's still dripping.
Yeah? So what did you say I need to do?
Close the lid.
I need to close the lid? Now, why do I need to close the lid?
Because it would stop dripping that way?
It would stop dripping. You see, the lid is the reason why there's a symptom. The lid is the cause of the symptom. The symptom was the drip. So in our sickness, we may have a cough, we may have a sneeze, we may have achy joints. Those are all symptoms. Those are all like the drip. And we can put Band-Aids on them. We could try to take more cold medicine. We could maybe try to just get rid of the symptom for a little while. And that will help it. Holding this against that stopped the leak for a little while, didn't it? But it didn't solve the problem. We had to go and find the cause. So disease is just an expression of something that's bigger. There's a bigger problem going on inside the body, and it needs your attention. So that's what a symptom is. It's really a signal to say, hey, there's something going on, and I need you to pay attention. And the second thing I want us to go over is what constitutes good health. And it seems like maybe that's kind of a complicated, it might have a complicated answer. Good health. Somebody who's really healthy. Can you describe that for me? Somebody who's really healthy. I mean, any of y'all can.
Eating right.
Eating right.
Plenty of exercise and sleep.
They got plenty of exercise. They got sleep, good sleep.
They don't have pain.
They don't have pain. Or maybe they have reduced pain. Maybe more energy. They look alive.
They
Maybe
don't get sick.
happy. Maybe they don't get sick so often. Yeah, everybody else gets sick around them and they seem to stay healthy. So yeah, someone with good health. Now, how do we get that? So that's what I want us to, we're going to look over at this more and more as we go through each of these classes. But this is the simple formula. Good blood plus good circulation equals good health. It's really that simple. Oops, I forgot to put blood. We got good blood plus good circulation. That is what brings about good health. Our blood needs to have all the nutrients. It needs to be alive. But then we got to get that blood all the way through our body. So that way it can feed and nourish the body. All right. And in our cooking classes, we're going to be going over foods that are going to be amazing for our health, for our blood, our circulation. All right. So today we're going to talk about trust. We have trust here. So trust is something we are all born with. When we are born, we all trusted our parents to take care of us and to provide for us. Whether or not our home was good or not, we all had that trust built into us to know that, okay, I need to rely on somebody else or something else. So that is something that we can't get rid of. We can't run away from trust. So trust surrounds everything, including food. In our food, we trust manufacturers, we trust grocery stores, we trust educational institutions to train people to be able to cook meals for us that are going to be good for us. We trust advertisement. There's so many things we trust in the food industry. But a lot of us are losing trust in the food industry, losing trust in these advertisements, losing trust in the things we've been told, because what they have been presenting to us has not been producing good health. Excuse my handwriting. It has not been producing good health. And so we are losing trust. We wonder, what can we put our trust in? What can we have to rely on? The definition of trust is a firm belief in the truth, ability, or strength of someone or something. So we want to know that it's reliable, that we can trust it. So what can we trust? When it comes to our diet, what can we trust?
Healthy food.
Healthy food. You know, our body tells us when it's healthy. Our bodies were designed for a diet of whole foods. Just as food was made and provided for us, that's how we're to receive it into our body. In its wholest form, and I don't know if wholest is the right word, but if it's a complete form, that is how God designed us to receive that food. When he first made man, they were actually plant-based. I mean, in Genesis, you can see right away, there was no meat involved until after the flood. So our bodies were designed to eat fruits, vegetables, grains, and to thrive on that. And they were taller than us. They were over 15 feet tall. So we can do it. And science nowadays is showing already the benefits. I mean, we have people like you guys already know the benefits it's done for you in your life. We know the benefits in our life. And living a plant-based diet, yes, it can be hard when at first, but when afterwards you really feel the difference in the effect of it. So all the food we're going to be going over is going to be plant-based. So what about stress? We have stress over here. So any type of change that may cause a physical, emotional, or psychological strain. That's what stress is. Stress is then our body's reaction to anything that requires our attention or our action. So it's our body's reaction. Put it here. Reaction to take action. And respond. Okay. Now I just need a volunteer. It doesn't matter who it is. I just need one volunteer. Which one? Or, okay, I'll do you because you raised your hand first. If you can just come right up here. Maybe if she stands right here. Is that okay? Yeah, so just stand right here. Have you ever played catch with your dad? Do you like playing catch? Okay, so I'm going to throw this to you. And you're going to catch it, all right? That's all right. Okay, so how did you feel when I threw that ball to you? What were the things that your body was telling you?
Try and catch it.
Try and catch it. Did you feel maybe more alert, focused? You were ready to react? So that's an example of stress. So now I want you to throw the ball right back to me. And now I'm going to throw all of these at you as fast as I can. So you might want to move. I'll try not to hit you. And I want to see if you can catch them, okay? Okay, how did that feel?
I got one.
You did. You got one back there. How did that feel? Did that feel a little bit more intense?
It felt more rushed.
More rushed, yeah. You felt your heartbeat maybe go a little bit higher. Okay. What about a few more? Here, I'll take this. All right. So tell me when you're ready, okay? I don't want to hit anybody. So I'll try to just throw lightly. What happened? How many did you catch?
3.
You caught 3. I threw 6 at you. Oh no. Okay. Let's get these. Let's find them.
I found one of them back here again.
All right. There you go. You can go ahead and put them here. Okay. So you felt that stress. That was your body's reaction to take action and respond. When you got that one ball, you felt stress. And that's not a bad thing. I want us to understand something about stress. Stress is not always bad. We have good stress. When we're doing homework, whatever, you can go ahead and sit back down. So then when you had a few more thrown at you, you could catch them, right? Yeah, it was a little bit hard, but after you caught them, did you feel good? When we go through a stressful situation and we come out on top, that's one of the best feelings ever. And so that stress is not always a bad thing. It can really help us to react in a positive way and to get positive results. But how did you feel when I threw all of these at you?
A little more stress and more alert.
Yeah. You felt like maybe you had to catch all of them? Yeah. How did you feel when you didn't catch them all?
A little disappointed of my solar responses.
Yeah, disappointed. That's how we feel too. We have so many stresses. What are some examples of stress in our life?
Bills.
Okay, we got bills. Yes, I feel that one so much. Bills. Homework.
Having to work.
Cars. Work.
Family.
Yep, family. So many things. The list can go on and on and on and on and on. And once it starts to add up, we start feeling like she did with all of these thrown at her. So that's one thing we're going to talk about today. Stress is not the issue. Unmanaged stress is the issue. We need to make sure that we can manage that stress in a positive way. Okay, so what about stress? Actually, before I go on to that, did you guys know that unmanaged stress, so stress that just takes over our whole mind, contributes to the 6 leading causes of disease in America? So that would be heart attack, cancer, lung disease, accidents, and cirrhosis of the liver, and suicide. So all of those. If we don't know how to control or contain this stress, it can lead to really negative results. Okay, let me go ahead. I think our time is slipping. How long do I have till we started at 7:30? Or 6:30, sorry, my bad.
6:30, we can go 7:30.
Okay. Is that okay with y'all?
Yeah.
All right. So there's 2 things we can do with stress. We can either, so here is stress here. We can maximize it, or minimize it. Minimize is like miniature, minimize. How do you spell minimize? M-I-N-I-M-I-Z-E. Okay, so we can either maximize it or minimize it. Either way, we're gonna get nowhere. Because just saying that your stress doesn't exist is not gonna help you, because eventually that stress is gonna catch up to you. Saying your bills are not important is not gonna help you. You know you're eventually gonna end up either not having light, not having whatever, and you're gonna get kicked out or evicted or whatever. Maximizing your stress, so making it something bigger than it really is not gonna help you either, because then you're gonna become paralyzed. You're gonna think, okay, I have to catch all of the balls at one time, so I'm not even gonna try. And you're not gonna get anywhere. So we have to find the balance, and the balance comes through management, managing of stress. So we're going to talk about managing stress when it comes to our diet. Because changing our diets can be stressful. Y'all know that. How was it like when you guys changed? When you guys decided, okay, this is not just a 2-week trial. This is going to be a lifelong thing.
Felt a lot of like outside people outside the family was like,
You thought it was weird.
thought it was weird. You know,
Yeah.
kind of made you feel,
Yeah.
like you're not doing the right thing, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was an urgent thing because the stress was causing problems, so I wasn't dealing with the stress properly.
Yeah.
I had to go back on the basis of nothing,
Mm-hmm.
start over from the beginning to see what would help me, really.
Yeah. So it was
So
probably a
just
wild
listen.
ride.
So yeah, stress can be a pretty bad thing. It can be a good thing.
Mm-hmm. As y'all push through, now you're all feeling the results of that and getting through that stress. Oh, that's awesome.
Just like going out or whatever, there's not like a whole lot of option. Like there's not really fast food.
Yeah.
This way. At all,
Mm-mm.
really.
No.
So it was like a whole kind of lifestyle change that we just had to kind of figure out. And now, like, it's so much better now, but like in that transition stage, it's like we're used to eating out, we're used to eating something quick, we're used to all this stuff, which made us feel bad. But like in the moment, it's lessens like the instant stress because you don't have to worry about like, cooking, all this kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it's cheap. Sometimes fast food can be cheap, but
Yeah.
and just kind of instant. So it was kind of lessened a little bit of stress in the moment, but then put on more stress because we were feeling it.
I like how you said that. How you said how the it relieved the instant stress. That's often what we want to do. We want to just push through that uncomfortable feeling, and we want to get rid of that moment, but we're not thinking of the long haul. So that's why I get you. It's so important to push through. That's where managing comes into this. So we're going to talk about managing when it comes to our diet. I think I'm spelling this right. Too close to the board. Okay, so when we are managing our stress in the kitchen, we want mealtime to be enjoyable. Not just the eating part, but also the preparation part. And sometimes that's the one we hate the most. Like you said, we'd rather go do fast food because it relieves that stress of having to make the meals. But we see our health declining when we do that. And that causes more stress. So what stress do we want to what stress do we want to have? And most of our diseases that we suffer with, especially in America, are all diet related. So if we can change our diet and go through that stress of that change, then we can deal with the bigger stress of our health issues.
I think sometimes it's hard because you have like this disassociation of time when like you get this instant, meal or whatever, and then to think of the long-term, effects of it. It's long-term. It's over time, so you're not really feeling the instantness of it. So you have to really try to like put your mind into associating this pain is because of this.
Exactly.
So you have that distance. That's why it's harder, I think, for a lot of people because you have that time kind of disassociation a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not instant.
That's exactly it. That's why when we talked about the disease, a lot of us just want to deal with the symptom of the disease. We don't want to deal with the cause of the disease because the symptom is an immediate result. The cause is something we don't connect the two. It's so important that we connect both of them. We're going to go through just three quick tips on how we can manage stress in the kitchen. It's called the 3 Ps. We have, let me get a brighter color. Can you guys see that okay? How about on the camera? Can you see that okay? Okay. So the 3 Ps we have planning. It's yellow. Preparation. And peace of mind. So planning is when we take that extra step ahead and we're thinking ahead. So if anything important in your life, you think about ahead of time. If you have an important date coming up, maybe a wedding, maybe at a vacation, family vacation, you're thinking about that before the occasion so you can be ready for it. So if our diet is really important to us because we know it's important for our health, then we should make the same effort and be willing to think ahead. So we have planning in mind here. Let me go over here so you can see that better. So we have planning, and then we have the next P, preparation. Hopefully I spelled that right. Preparation. That's when we work ahead. That's when we make the effort to make the meal ahead of time or whatever we can do to make it easier for that moment. So whether that is making lunches, maybe you're going to be in town the next day, so maybe pack a lunch the night before and be ready that next day. Not everybody's as savvy as that. I mean, I know we don't ever do that, but sometimes it's a good idea to think about that. Do whatever works for you. You know what it's going to take for you not to feel rushed in the moment or to feel tempted to compromise your health for something cheap or for convenience. The last one, I think, is my favorite. Peace of mind. Remember why you're doing this. When you know why you're doing it for our health, if we're doing this to help make sure our body is in the best condition it can ever be, then that should make us happy. That should give us a more positive perspective. And when we have a positive perspective as we're going into a stressful situation, like changing our diet or whatever the situation is, that helps sharpen our focus. So then we're going in knowing what we're doing this for. And it helps to bring about a better outcome instead of just becoming a chore. So those are the 3 P's. I mean, you can incorporate them. Maybe you already are. I'm sure you guys already are. You already have this in your mindset. Those of you who are watching, hopefully that can be a blessing to you. We're going to go ahead and start going over the cooking demonstrations. That's the fun part. I like that part. Okay, it's all right. First of all, I want to know which of these items have y'all made? Hummus, chia seed pudding, and sprouts.
We've made the pudding.
Okay,
I've done some sprouts.
okay,
And hummus. I guess I've kind of made hummus. Not really tasted it. I usually make like nutritional yeast and stuff, and it's more like a kind of a queso dip.
okay.
It still has those.
Alright.
Has garbanzo beans? Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, we're gonna have to start exchanging.
Oh.
Okay, so for those who are watching, we're gonna go ahead and start with the chia seed pudding, and for everybody here too. So I have it already measured out here, except for the salt. We have just chia seed. You have vanilla. You can do real or imitation, whatever you have. I would suggest the real, but you know what your budget can handle. And then we just have honey here. This one we got from Walmart, right? And then this is just homemade cashew milk. And that is with just cashews and water blended together. How many cups of cashew did you do? You did 3/4 cup of cashews and then filled the rest of the 3 cups of water. Okay, so we have this all right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this in the bowl. Now, for y'all who have the this paper, how many cups of chia seed, or what's the quantity of chia seed that we need?
1/3.
Okay, so we need a 1/3 cup of chia seed. I have this already measured out. This is a 1/3 cup of chia seed. And then what's the next thing on the list?
2 cups of juice.
All right, yeah, fruit juice is really good. I'm not sure if you guys have ever tried fruit juice and chia seed. We've tried like orange juice before, and any kind of juice you want, because the chia seed is going to absorb that and take on whatever flavor you give it. So that's the really neat thing. So I'm going to put this in. It's already measured out, 2 cups. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of the ingredients. Okay, so for the sweetener, how many tablespoons?
1 tablespoon.
1 tablespoon
Honey.
of honey. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Let's see if it'll come out. You know, honey takes forever. What's your all's favorite? You all use honey, right? Okay. Is that your favorite sweetener, or do you guys have another one you prefer?
I mostly use honey, or I'm using coconut sugar or agave nectar like that.
Teaspoon of vanilla.
Teaspoon. All right. You know, my mom really, really loves vanilla. 1/2 teaspoon? Okay, we're going to put a whole teaspoon. Is that okay? Whole teaspoon of vanilla. My mom loves vanilla, so I'm not going to tell you how much she put in the one she made for y'all. Unless y'all really want to know. Okay,
Vanilla is my favorite smell.
how many did you put? 2?
It was about a quarter cup.
She was like, it's going to taste like vanilla. We're going to make sure.
So good.
Yes. I'm like, Mom, are you seriously still putting more vanilla?
Pinch of salt.
Pinch of salt. Okay, so the thing about salt when you're cooking, or think about anything when you're cooking. You have your palate on your tongue has your palate. You have the salty, you have the sweet, you have the umami, and then you have the sour and bitter. Would you consider that one? So you want to make sure you're awakening an even balance of your palate. So you can have sweet, but then you need that contrast of a little bit of salty, because sometimes you may think, okay, it needs more sugar. No, it really doesn't need more sugar. It just needs that balance of the salt. The salt would then enhance the sweetness and make you feel like, okay, it's perfect then. So sometimes you just need that extra little balance. So I'm going to put a pinch. You can go to taste, whatever you feel like is going to be best for y'all. And once you get the hang, I mean, I don't know if y'all do that, but once you get the hang of it, you can measure, okay, hey, this is going to be a little bit more. And same with the sweetness, do whatever you want. If you want to add more sweetener, if you want to add another kind of sweetener, whether it be cane sugar or agave, if you want to use molasses, maple syrup, whatever you want to use, it's up to you, because chia seed will take on that flavor. It doesn't really have a flavor of its own. And chia seeds are very high in omega-3. And omega-3 helps your arteries stay nice and healthy. If your arteries in your body are healthy, then your blood can circulate. We want food like that.
So good blood, good circulation, good health
Yes, good blood plus good circulation,
equals
good
good health.
health.
And it's good.
And it's good food. That's it.
That's it, girl. You got it.
Okay, I don't know if you want to help just stir this over here.
You gotta
Yeah.
keep stirring it.
Yeah, you go ahead. Whoever helps me here, it's gonna then I'll have the other one help me with the next one, okay? So you just stir it maybe for 1 more minute or so. And try to get the rest of this honey out. The reason why we want to stir it is because the chia seed likes to clump up. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but it just seems to sometimes sit at the bottom of the bowl. And then the next morning, if you leave it overnight, it's stuck there at the bottom of the bowl and it hasn't fully absorbed. So if you stir it for about a minute or 2 and then let it sit, it's expanded enough to complete the process of, what do you call it? Not sprouting, it's expanding.
I love chia seeds. I put them in our smoothies and stuff.
And
Yes.
salad.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oh yeah, and on our salad.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, that's good. We're just gonna set it to the side. And this won't be ready today. I mean, if you wanna do it faster, you can use warm milk, not hot, because then you'll kill all the properties. But you can use warm milk. My mom did that before we came here because we forgot to make it last night. Or I could have made it this morning. It would have been ready. It needs at least 6 to 8 hours to fully expand. But because we didn't have that time, she started this at like 3 o'clock. And so she got the warm cashew milk and she put it in here. And that's what gave it that fluffy kind of texture, was the warm milk. This is going to give it a nice silky texture. So that's just a heads up. If you really want it to be fluffy, you can do more of the warm milk and it'll be done sooner. Took how many hours? About 3 hours, and then it was ready instead of overnight. So I'm going to set this to the side and we'll deal with that later. I'll move all these guys over too. What's the next item on our list? Hummus. Okay. Hummus. We have our food processor here. I'm going to open it on up. We have garbanzo beans that we cooked. The recipe says a can of garbanzo beans, but you can make them yourself, soak them, and then cook them in the crock pot just until they're just soft. If you cook them too long, then they're kind of mushy, and that won't be the best for the hummus texture. All right, so we have right here the tahini.
How do you do from a can or?
You can. These ones are not from a can. These ones we soaked and then we cooked them. The recipe has. Go ahead.
Isn't garbanzo beans kind of like a weird word?
It is a weird word. You know, it's actually in English it's chickpeas. In Spanish it's garbanzos. Chickpeas.
Mom uses that.
Yes. Yeah.
She gives them to the chicken. Yeah. Isn't that bad?
All right.
Yeah.
So I have tahini here. Have you guys ever made your own tahini?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, this is sesame butter. You know how we have peanut butter, we have almond butter. It just takes the seed and grinds it up, and eventually its own oil starts to come out, and then it makes this really creamy nut butter. This is just 100% roasted, peeled, organic sesame seeds. That's it. Nothing else. Uh-huh. I don't know how they did it. I don't think they did it one by one. I don't know how they did it. I didn't ask them. But this is tahini. Tahini is one of the key elements you need to make hummus. It gives it that nutty, rich flavor. By itself, it's kind of bitter. It just has it helps thicken it. But by itself, it's kind of bitter. But mixed with the garbanzo beans, it makes a really nice flavor. So this one's from Walmart, and I like it because it's so easy to get out of the container. It's not as thick as the one you find in jars, maybe at Natural Grocers or another store. They're going to be found in a jar, and you have to dig it out of the jar. This is nice. I can just pour it in. That would be good. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put this in. I know it says a 1/3 cup. I'm going to measure by eye because I forgot to bring a 1/3 cup. So I'm just gonna keep pouring here until it's about a third of the way. Yes, it is. Yeah, you see that texture. Can you see on the camera? I'm not sure. About an extra.
Usually like that when you
Mm-hmm.
If you buy it in these jars, if you buy them in the solid jars, like a peanut butter jar, it's
Yeah.
thicker.
Yeah, then it's more like a peanut butter texture. This one's thin intentionally.
That's peanut butter?
Yeah.
Sesame seed butter.
Isn't that like peanut butter?
Okay. Hermano, how do you say sesame seeds in Spanish?
Ajonjolí.
Ajonjolí.
Holy.
The way I remembered it, it's like someone just hit me in the stomach. Ajonjolí. I like that word. It's a fun word. Okay, so I've got that in here. Okay, then I have also my garlic here. I have a garlic press. I have roasted garlic and I have fresh garlic. The ones I made for y'all had both. So that's probably why it was a little bit spicy, because I had roasted garlic is not spicy because it just kills that sharpness. So it's more creamy and smooth. Really nice. This one is going to bring the little spicy edge. So it's up to you what you want to use. I like roasted garlic a lot because it gives that nice undertone. I wasn't tasting the garlic, so I put in one of these. I think that was a bad idea. But I'm happy y'all are patient. But I'm happy y'all,
I like it.
despite the spiciness. Okay, I'm gonna maybe do this one then, so that way y'all can try it and enjoy not such a spicy hummus. These are 3 roasted garlic cloves. I just roasted them in the oven with a little bit of oil, olive oil, and then maybe, not even 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. And then they were ready. I flipped them over. They were fine. Just until they're soft. Oops, I forgot one step. And that is to put them through this. The reason why I put it through the garlic press is because I don't want chunks of garlic in the middle of my hummus because the food processor couldn't catch it. No, I forgot the butter knife. So I'm going to go ahead and push it through.
Whoa, strange.
It does, doesn't it? It's kind of like pasty. We love garlic in our home. And I didn't realize that not everybody loves garlic in their home. And so they're not as crazy about garlic. I'm not to say they don't love it. But sometimes people are like, man, y'all just have like this smell that follows y'all. Like, is that a bad smell? It just smells like garlic. Okay, thank you. It just smells really strongly of garlic and onions and cumin and other spices. I'm like, yeah, that's what we use. We love all those spices. They're like, yeah, we can tell. Okay. Another way you can roast the garlic is just by taking the bulb of garlic with the skin on and everything, cut off the head, put a little bit of olive oil. No, cut off the head. Put a little bit of olive oil and then put it in a muffin pan. And you can put it in the oven with some aluminum foil on it. My sister used to have a garlic birthday party every year. Yes, that was the theme, was garlic. So we had roasted garlic, garlic bread, garlic green beans, and all of the above. Yes.
What about garlic cake?
She didn't like sweets, but she thought about trying the garlic ice cream, and I'm like, no, girl, no. Okay, I just put in the lemon juice. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm putting all the ingredients in except for the garbanzo beans. We need to make sure the first ingredients are well mixed and smooth before we add the garbanzo beans. Because once we get those guys in there, it can make it kind of hard to mix everything properly. I need my salt. I put them over here. How much salt does it say I need to put in? To taste. Okay. I'm going to put about a teaspoon, a little less than a teaspoon. We can always add more, but we can't take it out. I've learned that the hard way.
Unless you accidentally add too much in yours. I've done that so much.
Yes.
Always scraping at the little mound, like, oh
Yes, exactly. We don't want to do that.
no. Yes.
I also have water here. And how much water do I need to put in? I'll have it.
Still in my bag.
2 to 4 tablespoons.
Okay, I'm going to add 1 to 2-ish because you know the tahini is pretty thin. I don't really need that much water.
So should you, according to how thick your tahini
Uh-huh.
is, you should add the water?
According to your tahini and according to how dry your garbanzo beans are. Our garbanzo beans are pretty moist because we cooked them ourselves. They're still pretty firm. You can hear them rattling around, but they're not like the canned garbanzo beans. Canned garbanzo beans are a lot drier. You probably need more water for those. I also have cumin here. This is like the very key ingredient. It's optional, but I suggest you keep it. Do you guys like cumin? Okay. Yeah, I love cumin.
He's like,
He was like, whatever you put in the food is good.
you
Okay.
made it until I said yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and blend this real quick. It's gonna be loud. Okay, I'm gonna check on it. Just have to make sure all those little garlic pieces are evenly distributed. Looks like it's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and put the garbanzos in. So it says 15-ounce can of garbanzo beans. That's about just a little less than 2 cups. I'm gonna go ahead and put the whole thing in here. The right amount. Okay. Yes, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it right back on. And I'm gonna blend it until it is nice and smooth. And I can just check on it from here and see if it's doing what it needs to do. ¿Vas a see it or mira? Look inside here. Go ahead and look at it.
Oh,
You can smell it?
yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to get some?
It's a good
spoons?
texture.
'Cause I'm gonna try.
Yeah, that's a nice smooth texture. Yeah, if you can get the, you know, that extra bread you had over here.
Oh,
It's in the bag. Yeah, you did. I made sure to check. But yeah, I like how smooth it is. Oops. But yeah, it's still kind of thick too. I'm just gonna put it straight back in the container.
Actually looks not
Not bad.
looks kind of like creamy peanut butter.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, but lighter.
So, like store-bought canned garbanzo beans will give it more of a store-bought texture. And the tahini, I like this tahini. It makes it really nice and thin. Yeah, we used to do that when we were younger or growing up. Like we didn't have tahini around, so we just figured we'd make it without it. But when we started making it with tahini, we noticed the difference.
What was the difference?
Without it, you know, you just taste the garbanzo beans. With it, you taste that hummus flavor, very distinct hummus flavor.
What did you use besides the
Just garbanzos.
just go on?
Mm-hmm.
You mean this is like those over there, but less spicy?
Yes, ma'am. So hopefully y'all can handle it. So you can get video.
Grocery shop, like I don't mind grocery shopping or cooking or
Mm-hmm.
prepping food. It's like
Okay. Now we're gonna go over sprouting. So those sandwiches, let me show you those sandwiches so that people online cannot see them. Okay, so here were the sandwiches we made with the sprouts and the the red peppers all in there, and the hummus that you just saw made. Those are the sandwiches. And now we're gonna learn about how to make the sprouts. Sprouts are amazing. So if you're changing your diet and you think, okay, I need to have more vegetables in my diet, and they say, okay, you need to have how many servings of vegetables a day or per meal?
You can eat.
As many as you can eat. 3 to 5 servings of vegetables. And some people who've never really eaten vegetables are like, that's too many. I don't like broccoli. I don't like the taste of cauliflower. I don't like spinach. I don't like all these. You know, if you want to start incorporating, yeah, you want to hide them in. You want to get rid of that flavor that maybe it's that distinct flavor you can't handle about the spinach or whatever it is. But you want to start changing your diet. Sprouts are an amazing way to start that because they don't have really strong flavor. They can be a little bit spicy if it's a radish sprout, but for the most part, they're kind of mild and sweet. They're really enjoyable and they're crisp and yeah, that's it. They get that nice crunch. So if you're wanting to incorporate vegetables, this is a good place to start. Not only because they taste great, but because you get more nutrients out of these. If they are the sprouts, these are like 5 to 7 days old when it took to grow them, so they're not very long. You can see they're kind of small. Their nutrients are not that they're more nutrient dense, but because they have the enzymes to process and to absorb the nutrients. That's what makes them more nutrient dense. So every nutrient that's in them, they're high in B vitamins, high in C vitamins, and they also help you break down the phytates that keep you from absorbing zinc and iron. And you need that. Your body needs that. And so this is going to help you absorb all those minerals, all those vitamins. So you're getting a complete meal here in these little baby greens. So I'm going to show you a quick way how to do this and how to make it really simple. So we have a canning jar. Canning jars are easy to come by. You can find them at Walmart, any local hardware store. You guys have a particular place you like to buy your canning jars?
I just went to Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart. That's where we usually bought them, was Walmart. I don't know about online. I haven't ever heard of that one. Okay, you brought yours. Okay, this is specific for sprouting, right? There's no name on it, no mason jar, nothing. But it's the same size, correct? Yeah. Okay. So same size on the top. This is just the normal rings, and they usually have a lid that goes in the middle. But you can replace that with screens. This one came with the special made screen. What was the brand?
That's a good question.
Okay, that's all right. Just you can look up sprouting jars on Amazon, and you'll probably come across many different options.
You can also make your own too, like cut the screen.
Yes, that's what we got right here. Yeah, we're ready. We're going to make our own sprouting lid because you can also buy these and Mom bought these on Amazon as well. It's like a whole pack of them. So you can have many jars in rotation.
Those come with those little lips on it, so they sit on a stand, not stand off. See the little spikes on them, Jenny?
Okay. So they sit on, obviously she knows how to
We're
do
on
this.
the angle right there.
Got you. Okay. That's awesome. So you can buy these ones. This is the brand right here. Or you can make your own. And we're going to make our own today. So I'm just going to take this mesh. You can get this at any craft store. Hobby Lobby, Michael's,
Or even, like,
hardware
They sell
stores.
rolled
Yeah, okay. You think it'll be cheaper that way?
probably.
Hardware stores
If
sell
you're
these
gonna
in
make
rolls.
A lot of them, like for sure, it'd be cheaper.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to use this guy as a template. And I'm just going to draw out a circle. And then all I have to do then is cut. I should have done that closer to the edge. That's okay. My mom will forgive me. And I'm just going to cut that around. Super easy. You can have your kids do it. Or grandkids. Doesn't matter. And the size of mesh does matter. You don't want a big holed mesh if you have little itty bitty tiny seeds. Some of these seeds are super, super tiny. In fact, I'm even wondering if they're going to work for this. They don't think they're going to work for this one. This mesh is even smaller, and that's perfect. This is going to be better for bigger seeds. I don't think I have an example of one right now. The mung beans, yeah, that'll work great for the mung beans. You can do that. This is the same size as this one. They have the same hole width. So if you have tiny little seeds, I suggest getting tiny mesh. All right, so now we have this, and it's as easy as just putting it right inside the ring like that. You see how it fits all the way in. It's not falling out. And then you can just put it right on your canning jar. If it stays on, right on your canning jar. And just make sure it's tight. No bloopers, you know? Okay. So now we're going to go on about how to do this. How many sprouts does it say I need to put, sprouting seeds, does it say I need to put inside the canning jar?
Let's see.
One to two tablespoons of ice.
All right, 1 to 2 tablespoons. So if you have plants that like to grow, like maybe they're bigger plants, I would stick with the smaller number. Maybe just do 1 tablespoon because they're going to fill up your jar really fast. And I'm doing clover sprouts right now. And I just put in 2. I don't have water.
So that Tupperware being filled is from one of those jars.
Yeah, this right here was in one of these
Is
jars.
that a mixture or is that?
Yeah, it's a mix.
This is a, which one did you do, you said?
Just have radish, broccoli,
Clover.
Radish, broccoli, and clovers. All of these right here are all these little plants. So all your vegetables right here. Mm-hmm. So this is, if you're not careful, you put too many, it's just gonna want to either burst the jar or they're gonna mold because they get too tight and too close to each other. You don't want to do that. So now you have the seeds in there. You're gonna go ahead and put the lid on. And then you can put the water straight through that, or you can put the water in first. It doesn't matter. You fill this up with water and you let that sit overnight. You want to get that initial soaking process started. So overnight, you have that. Next day, you rinse it out. You make sure to keep the lid on because you don't want to lose those seeds. You're going to empty it out. As you can see, that's too little. I put the wrong one on here. Yes. I think this one's okay. Yeah, if you want to know if this mesh is going to work for your seeds, then try that. I just did that. This is too big. This is perfect. I'm going like this, and there's no seeds coming out except for a few. We're good. So stick with the smaller one for clover seeds. All right, now you have it soaked overnight. It's been in the water all night long. It's had time to open up and expand. Now you're going to rinse it out. You're going to empty out that water. You're going to put more water in. You're going to shake it around, shake it around. I've always watched my mom do this, and she just goes like this. It's kind of like a little ritual she does. And then she goes to empty it out. And you make sure that water is drained out, and then kind of move your seeds kind of like that, because you want to make sure that they're evenly laid out against the jar.
I do it, I shake it, and I let all the seeds spread on all the glass.
Yes, because when you have it wet, the seeds are going to stick to the edge of the jar. And like I said, that he says that he shakes the jar seeds all the way around the jar, so they're just stuck to the edge of the jar. And that's perfect. This is something else you can buy on Amazon. I found the box, but I couldn't find the brand name. These are just, what do you call them? Make sure that your sprouts are well ventilated. Like this. These little side things, they can loosen up and you can adjust it as you want and then tighten them.
Is that what that's actually for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is made specifically for sprouting. You just put the sprouting jar like that. If it's actually going to stay.
Now you know who really does it.
Yeah, I know. I asked her to do this and I forgot to reiterate that when this week came up, because the first week she knew she was in charge of this. So you're going to have it sitting like that. You're going to make sure there's a tray underneath it. If you just leave it like that, it's going to get water everywhere because it's still kind of wet. And you're just going to do that up until about the fifth day. Fifth day, you should see them growing. They should be about that size and they're ready to eat. After it's done, you make sure you take it out of the jar and you put it into a separate container, and you put it in the fridge.
You don't want to rinse them and then put them in because they'll
No.
mold.
That last day when you see them, they're perfect size. Every day you're rinsing. You're repeating the cycle again and again and again. You're saying, okay, yesterday I rinsed them. Today I need to rinse them. And then I set them right back here, and I let them keep growing. 5th day, you look at the jar, it's full. You say, okay, they're ready. I'm going to take the lid off, and I'm going to put them in a container. If you get them wet first, you put them in the container, they're not going to last very long.
You didn't put anything in there to soak up the moisture or anything?
You can put little paper towel. Yeah.
We never do because they're usually dry when we put them in.
Okay.
Yeah, they're usually dry, but yeah, if you feel like there's a little bit of moisture still on them, go ahead and just put a little paper towel alongside them.
Is that just, they don't shake them up and they let them grow in a mat?
That's a different technique, yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's so many different ways you can do this. This is just one very simple way. And the nutrients, remember, are extremely high in these. And not only are they extremely high, just like any other vegetable, they're extremely high, but you can absorb all of the nutrients. You're not losing anything. All right, so conclusion. Disease is not our enemy. Disease is actually our friend because it's telling us that something's going on in our body. It's that symptom. It's the symptom of a cause. It's a sign of a bigger issue that's happening, and we need to pay attention to it. Obtaining good health is not too hard, or it's not as complicated maybe as we make it out to be. It requires good blood and good circulation. And all of these principles here, I can tell you already, are all about getting good blood and good circulation. We can trust how our bodies were designed. The way that God made us, we can trust that. And we can give it exactly what it needs. And simple and also in its natural form is the best. If your food is simple, not overly processed, in natural form, complete, that's going to be the best way to eat it. Changing our lifestyle and diet can be stressful, but we can remember the 3 P's: planning, preparation, and peace of mind. And that will help us to manage that stress so we're not overwhelmed by all that comes with that new lifestyle. And so then, what is maybe one thing you guys learned today? Pop quiz.
Something, but I forgot.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Me too.
Was
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Kind of just reiterating that not all stress is bad. Like,
Yeah.
stress can be a good thing, just need to manage it better.
Mm-hmm.
I think so many times I'm just like, it's so stressful, and you look at stress and it's a bad thing, but there are so many times where stress can be a good thing. Just,
Yeah.
like you said, just plan, manage it better. That's
Mhm.
what we need to do.
I get you. That was today was one of my most stressful days this week. And not just because I had the class, but because there's just so many things on our plate right now. And I had to remember what I was going to be talking about today. And I was like, okay, Lord, this is an amazing opportunity to practice. And He has a way of doing that, giving me opportunities to practice what I preach. So I was going through the steps. I was taking a step back, analyzing what the real issue was, and then doing what I could. And accepting the fact that I can't catch all the balls. If I catch only 3, that's okay. I don't need to worry about it or become disappointed with myself. All right. Did you have anything?
the hummus.
The hummus.
I learned a lot, but the hummus was
Yeah.
pretty cool seeing all that. Yeah.
And it was delicious. Yeah.
Awesome.
Really tasty.
Yeah, I liked it too.
I love it.
Awesome. I'm happy y'all liked it. All right. Well, thank you all so much for coming, and thank you for those who are watching.